Hi all, great to have you back for this Cross the Bridge recording, our interview series with leading experts in the field of SAP security. Welcome Markus. For those who do not know me, my name is Jaap van der Meer. I'm Sales Director at SecurityBridge and I'm very happy to host this new episode of our Cross the Bridge session. Today with me is Markus Schumacher, sub-security expert and a seasoned entrepreneur in the field of security platforms. Welcome Markus.
Hey Jaap, good to see you.
Good to see you again. And I should not only say welcome to this interview, but I should also say welcome to this side of the bridge. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. This is, as you can see here in the background, my first day in the office in Ingolstadt.
Cool.
And I think my first business trip since I don't know how many months. So
that must be a big change then.
It is.
To have a business trip and to see live people again.
Yeah, seeing real people.
I was wondering, Markus, we have worked together for quite some years when you were the CEO of your previous company. We've done great things, we've done fun things, we've done, I don't know how many customer meetings, partner meetings, we had events on the Euromast and all over the place. We had great dinners. I remember a specific German rock concert in the Kuip in Rotterdam. So we had so many things, so I know you well, but for those who don't know you, can you quickly introduce yourself further?
Sure. So I started in the software security industry in the mid-90s, where computers have been part of my life and my studies. So I studied electrical engineering and I did my PhD in software, computer science and software security. I worked for SAP as a product manager and then founded my own company. And yeah, now I'm here.
Now you're here.
Other than that, I enjoy driving nonsense cars, nonsense in terms of having a V8 engine and being crazy. I like to play guitar, exercise to stay physically healthy, kettlebell training, endurance training like cycling and running and so on. So that's me in a nutshell.
So you like your cars like the way you like your music, loud.
Loud and fast, yeah.
What made you start, or why did you start your own company these years ago?
So, as I have said, I'm in the industry since quite a while, and in the early days at the university, it was more theoretically. And when I joined SAP as a product manager, I wanted to apply all of those ideas to something bigger. And SAP is, until this day, one of the leading companies in the field of ERP, a German vendor close to my home. So I had a 30 minutes drive to the SAP office in Walldorf. But I found over time that SAP itself and the customers had something different in mind when thinking about security than myself. So that's more than 10 years ago, and sometimes we see this thinking pattern even today. They thought that security translates to roles and authorizations. If you have that in place, you are done.
We still see that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And when I thought about security, I thought, how can we break this? How can we bypass an authorization? How can we bypass encryption? How can we hack or bring down an SAP system in no time? And then think about the root cause, implement countermeasures, and then it goes on and on and on. So doing my job at SAP, my task was to hire, that was one of my tasks, to hire people doing so-called penetration tests or security tests. And that was also the idea to step out, do our own company and offer security testing services for SAP customers around breaking and hardening SAP systems. And then as lazy computer scientists that we are, we have started to capture that knowledge and automate it. And that was in 2009, where our first product has seen the light.
For scanning ABAP code, if I remember well.
Yes, and the rest is history, so to say. Yeah.
As they say, yeah, exactly. You have crossed the bridge, as we like to call this. You joined SecurityBridge. I'm obviously very happy with that, as we can work together again from now on. How have the reactions been in the market so far?
Well, I'm really overwhelmed by the number of notes that I have received and how encouraging they are. So many people in my network not only congratulated me on seeing me back in business again, but also sent very personal notes. And I need to admit that I have really missed the fun of speaking, working, fighting together for greater ideas.
I can imagine that. It's about time. You joined this company, SecurityBridge, as an advisor to the board. That's what we can see on LinkedIn. How should I understand your role? What are your tasks, responsibilities when you're an advisor? And is this your only job, or would you have other jobs on top of it?
Well, I quit end of last year, and I had a long time to think about what do I want to do in the future. I finished some work, for example, with my own hands on my wine cellar and other projects which are completely non-related to anything in software. But then I found out, even particularly in the lockdown situation, that I miss working in a company or working for a company. But I also found out that I don't want to work as a managing director anymore, or having that administrative role, or developing a product again. So my idea was to share what I have learned in the past. Making a company successful has several ingredients, and that's the biggest one, making mistakes and learning from that. So we did so many things wrong, but the difference between, but the differentiation is that we learned from that, changed it, and became better. It's passionate work, hard work, and if you do that, improving over time, learning from your failures, working hard, then you also earn something by simply having luck. And that was my idea, to share everything that I did in the past and help young leaders to work not in their company, but on their company, and improve it and make it grow. And yeah, last but not least, also do some things that I never could do in the past for several reasons. And I like to see those ideas and unleash that power too.
What are things that you would like to do now that you're advisor to the board? What in your vision would be a next step for SecurityBridge, and how can you help with that?
Well, so this is literally my first week, right? Of being in the company, and in the first days and weeks, I will simply listen to how are things done today. What are your goals? Where do you want to be? And then seeing the spirit that I experience here already, the spirit of the leaders, the business ethics, the ideas of moving forward, that will help me to understand where are the bottlenecks, what's preventing growth, and then brainstorm around how can we move forward. That's one thing that I like to do first.
That sounds good. I know that we have discussed earlier today your ideas about benchmarking. How would you see benchmarking in relation to SecurityBridge?
Let me explain what I mean by benchmarking. So other than putting stones on each other, you cannot touch security, you cannot smell it. It's not really tangible. If you have the SecurityBridge platform, that will generate a lot of data on different dimensions of the state of an SAP security system. For example, are the authorizations good? Is encryption good? Do you have anything of like threat monitoring in place? Those are the dimensions that you need to consider, and there, I don't know how many there are. And you can be good at that. You can be average by that. You can be bad. So for each dimension, you can apply a maturity level. And that's what I mean by benchmarking. You can simply say, this is industry best practice. This is where I want to be. But today I'm here. I have a red light, a red traffic light. And the security platform can be used to visualize where I'm good and where I'm bad, and can help you to prioritize what to do next in order to move up the ladder. And I like that idea of benchmarks and measurements and maturity levels, and to improve an organization as such.
So I guess it's something that we will see possibly supported more in the near future then. If it's...
Yeah, my plan is to see how this idea can be applied here. That will be one of my personal challenges and projects by heart. So I found a sticker here, a heart for
yeah.
So that's my heart project.
If you found it, you can keep it. It's all yours now.
For sure, you will learn more about that in my upcoming presentations and posts.
Excellent. I have one final question for you. It's on how you see the market of security and sub-security develop in the next years to come.
Well, it's three things that I see. When I started my business, we have sort of been seen as aliens, which talk about crazy stuff and try to hijack people and convert them to other aliens.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, the SAP security market is established, and you see many, many vendors in the space. And I would say that the market is still big enough for different vendors. Each of them has different strengths, and that a collaboration by having open platforms that can be easily connected, combining those strengths to something bigger, for example, by cloud services, that's something that I expect to see, that vendors team up to offer bigger solutions than a single vendor could ever do.
Open platforms.
Yeah. The second thing is, and that's a pattern that I see in the past 20 years, that people really don't work on the root cause of a failure or a security weakness. So avoiding bad or surprising outcomes is something that can be handled proactively. And that's why I have another advisory board role at Irius Risk, which is a company offering a threat modeling solution. Mm-hmm. Threat modeling means you think about what can go wrong in advance, and then you apply countermeasures while developing the software already, while or in contrast to finding it during a test and then build it very expensively. And last but not least, my assumption is, or prediction is, that machine learning will play a key role in security, in particular in the threat detection space.
So open platforms, machine learning, and threat modeling. Those are the three things that we should look out for in the next years.
Yeah, at least that's my personal radar.
I'll write it down, and we'll do this recording again in a couple of years, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah. We're at the end of our interview. It was great having you here. Would you have any closing thoughts or ideas to end this interview?
Well, I'm really done with this kind of web sessions.
Thank you for that.
And I also look forward to meet you again face to face. I don't know how many months we haven't seen each other. So it's a big difference to see people sitting next to you on a table in one room, thinking about new ideas, resolving problems, getting it done, and then move on. That's really motivating. I don't see a big change in working remotely. The pandemic situation has proven that it's possible to work remotely most of the time.
Yep.
But every once in a while, a physical meeting is priceless.
We're allowed to travel again. I can come back to Germany. I'm really looking forward to that because I haven't been there for so many months now. And I used to go to Heidelberg 3-4 times a year, and I miss it. So I'm looking forward to meetings next month, I think it is. And we'll have an opportunity also to do a bike ride together, to do a sub-security ride together. So I will post that one. And for now, Markus, thank you very much for joining me. Great to have you on board on this side of the bridge.
Thanks for this kickoff interview, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
I will see you soon. And to everybody watching, if you would like to join me for one of these SecurityBridge Cross the Bridge sessions, please let me know and we can organize that. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time.